Hey folks, it's instrument time. Today we're going to do a little music theory, and we are going to talk about suspended chords, what those are, and why you might want to use them. So, normally you think of your main chords as either major or minor. So, D major chord, D minor chord, A major chord, A minor chord. Alright, so suspended chords are in that category of chords which are neither major nor minor, which means they are non-resolved. So the reason one would use a suspended chord is if you want a chord that is neither major nor minor. And in songwriting or tune building, you would use that to add tension. Alright, so we're primarily going to work in D today. So I am going to throw up a real quick slide through the magic of editing. Alright, I left that up for a few seconds so you can refer back to it if you remember. And that is the D family of chords, showing major, minor, suspended fourth, suspended second, and power chord, which I'm not going to get in today. So let's take, for example, my song, No One Home, which starts like this. The finger picking pattern goes like this. I'm going to strum it again so you can hear it a little better. Alright. Now compare that if I just kept the straight D throughout. Right? Sounds much less interesting. So what we do to create a suspended chord is we change the middle note of our chord. Right? So a major chord has the root, the 1, the 3, and the 5. Alright? In order to make a major chord a minor chord, we take that second note, which is the 3rd, and we make it flat by a half step. Alright? In order to make a suspended chord, we shift that note even further. So we either put in a perfect fourth or we put in the 2 note. Alright, so if we have a D chord and we just drop this pinky here, right, now we've sharpened that middle note by a half step. And that is our D sus 2, I think. D sus 4. This is our D sus 4, obviously. We went higher, so higher is a higher number. So that's our D sus 4. Right? D, D sus 4. D, D sus 4. In order to go from D to D sus 2, we're going to just pick up that finger on the bottom string. Right? So that sounds plaintive. It sounds unresolved. It's not as plaintive as a D minor, right? But it is definitely unresolved. You're going, what's coming after this, right? So it's one way you can use a suspended chord is if you want to transition from major to minor or minor to major. Or if you just want to add that little bit of dissonance to it, all right? Now, my friend Tim Griffin has a great song. I'll link it below, which is called The Shoulders of Giants, right? And he does something very similar where he starts in D, right? And he just keeps dropping that pinky, right? Aristotle said the world was a ball, right? Which is definitely more interesting and more flavorful than just if he's playing D the whole time, all right? Same thing in A, right? So if we have an A chord, right? A minor's there. Just pick up that finger, and now we have, your A sus chord, which of course everyone will recognize as being one of the 4 main chords in Requiem with Edmund Fitzgerald, right? All right. Similarly, if you just drop this pinky down here, now we have that A sus 4 chord, right? So I'm not going to go into power chords. They're used mostly in rock music, and in a power chord you simply omit the third entirely. So often it's written as the chord name in 5. Generally you may see it as +5, but that also has some other connotation. +5 often means that you're going to add an extra 5th, which actually keeps it a major chord or minor chord, but reinforces that 5th note, right? So this is a G and this is a G, but they sound different because we've replaced one of those notes with an extra 5th. So the flavor or character of the note of the chord is different. All right, so those are suspended chords, and that is why we would like to use them. Primarily, they're really easy to use in the key of D because you just have to either pick up one finger or drop a finger. So great little way to add a little more flavor to your songwriting and your music writing. And that's all I have for today. I'm not going to go too into it because I am not a theory guy. I am a how do I use this theory guy. So I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful. And please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you like content like this. I'm starting to run out of instruments to talk about, so have to have something for every Tuesday. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Instrument Time.